I've been good, man. How you been? And welcome back to the show, Sports Hip Hop with DJ Mad Max, I-265, iHeartRadio. We have the one and only Phoenix's own joining me here on the show here tonight, Richie Evans. Richie, what's going on, man? How have you been?
Man, I've been blessed, brother. How about yourself?
I've been pretty good, man. Doing pretty well, taking it easy, keep doing the shows, just keeping up with artists,
Right.
promoting. I know you've been grinding since the last time that we spoke. What was that? Early 2021, I think, last
Yeah, yeah,
year.
yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Been, a lot been going on. You know what I mean? Got to catch the world up a little bit.
That's right. Highly favored's on the way. I know you were working on that last year. So is this the year
Yeah,
we're finally going to get it at the end of this year?
yeah. We got everything finally cleared. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with everything with like coming off of COVID and getting clearances and people back in the offices, man. It's been what I'm saying. It's been kind of a struggle, but we finally got everything going, man. You know what I'm saying? We about to do the rollout. We about to release this new music. You know what I'm saying? Especially with these the new videos and viral campaign about to drop. So we locked and loaded, baby, for real.
Mhm. Why is now the right time, you think, for you? Because I know people are always pressuring you got to constantly release stuff, but I like how you held back a little bit and said that no, I'm going to release it on my own time. Why is now the
Yeah,
perfect
yeah.
time?
I always got a few different reasons for that. You know what I mean? One of the main reasons is, man, I just come from the era of Mystique. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, man. Like, I believe, put your music out how you want to do it, get it, in front of as many fans as possible. You know what I'm saying? And kind of do your thing. But, you know, I came from when music was like exciting, where, you know, people put out enough music and enough content, you know what I'm saying, that people wanted it. You know what I mean? And I think now just the accessibility of artists and music that is kind of taken away the excitement of some of these projects. You know what I mean? And I get a lot of backlash for that. But like I said, man, I believe the route that I'm taking right now is best for me. You know what I mean? And if down the line, like I said, man, I gotta end up dropping a few more records or a few more projects to gain some new listeners and things like that, I'll do. But I think right now, the outline and blueprint of kind of how I want to roll out is sufficient for me.
And this is in conjunction with the Evans administration, your own
Yes, sir.
independent record label.
Yes, sir. You know what I mean? We gotta I think I was kind of telling you a little bit back then, or we might have just been getting our partnership in line. We did like a independent, well, I call it a major independent situation because the company that were distributed by, you know what I'm saying, got bought out by Universal. So technically I'm on Universal now, you know what I'm saying, with my company TEA, the Evans administration. And like I said, man, we're newly welcomed in the building. You know what I'm saying? We've been trying to get acclimated with the people that's going to help us try to market this the right way and get it out to some of these what do you want to say, playlists and other things that's been servicing a lot of these records. So we fully on deck and ready right now.
Oh, I can definitely see that. And man, you're ready to put on for Phoenix here. Why do you think it's been so long and so difficult for artists to break out of Phoenix? I know you guys are starting to make some noise out there. I was in touch with
Yeah,
another artist, Merkham's, recently, and he's
yeah,
doing his thing out there. Why do you think it's
yeah.
been so hard for you guys to break out of Phoenix? Because you're right near LA, and
Right,
Phoenix, it's got a major basketball team. The
for sure.
Suns, the Arizona Diamondbacks,
Yeah, we got the
the
Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Don't get it wrong. As far as being a city of diversity and a city of things to do, we're definitely building and growing. You know what I mean? But I think that as far as the musical infrastructure, that's what we lack. And a lot of the talent that we have, I think sometimes that we have to step out of our own element and go to a New York, go to a Chicago, go to a LA, go to an Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, to really get some of the resources, the connections, and major push that is needed to break from this market. But even also, I would say, Max, is I also think that when you do take an artist and give them those particular type of opportunities, a lot of the powers that be try to have you come from there and not from here. Just due to the fact that, like I said, it is a hard market to break. There's been a few artists before myself that's tried, I'm saying, they got some real national and noble attention, but never fully put a stamp on it. You know what I mean? So, I think right now the city is buzzing all across the world in different facets, business, athletics, you know what I'm saying? Every which way. And I think that now people are starting to gain some attention to our musical scene too.
Let's take it back a few steps here to the sports aspect because I brought it
Yeah.
up. You saw KD apparently was looking for some places out there in
Yes.
Phoenix, yeah?
So it's crazy because I've met Katie a few times. You know what I'm saying? I know early on when the game was working on his album, I slid out to LA and Katie came in. People don't know, Katie produced beats too, low key. You know what I'm saying? I know,
Yeah.
right? But so I got a couple people in, the real estate biz out here in Phoenix, and my man hit me, was like, yo, and I was like, yo, is that KD? Sure enough. Sure enough. And truthfully, I thought at that time, I was like, if he's out here looking for homes, bro, he's about to become a Phoenix Sun. But what was ironic about it is as soon as I posted that, there was a dude in Miami. He was like, yo, he was here 2 days ago looking for property too. So that necessarily doesn't mean that, he's going to be a Phoenix Sun. I was like, yeah, you right. But shit, he was out here looking though, you know what I mean? So, salute to KD for that.
He was, and if things don't pan out this year with the Nets, you can guarantee he's going to be wanting out of that situation. He's going to give it one more run back. If it doesn't work out, I guarantee he's going to be out in Miami or Phoenix.
I believe that too. You know what I'm saying? I believe, truthfully, I think that him, Devin Booker and Chris Paul would have been a hell of a run. I know that they would have to give up a few people, but shit, I would have done it. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Speaking of Phoenix Suns players, a lot of them back you and even propped you up to do some commercials and ads for them,
Yeah,
especially with vitamin water and helping you out with some deals.
yeah. Shout out to my man Chris Paul. Last year, what I'm saying, Chris, I've known Chris for a minute. We got a lot of mutual people, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we kind of came across each other and stuff like that. When Chris originally came to Phoenix, you know what I'm saying, I was in the thought process mode at that particular time, trying to figure out like, well, how can we make this beneficial, you know what I'm saying, musically and basketball wise. And it took me a little bit of time to end up reaching out to him, but I eventually did. And he was like, hey, whenever the project is ready, let me know. We can, I'll come out, support, whatever I got to do on my end, you know what I mean, to get you some of that light and shine out here on the court, you know what I mean, in NBA way, we can make it work. So, shout out to them. Shout out to Devin Booker too. You know what I'm saying? Devin has always been a solid cat who's been very supportive of not just myself, but even a bunch of other local artists. You know what I mean? So, that's a big step merging those two worlds. You know what I'm saying? I think that'll do a lot of justice for a lot of positive things. You know what I'm saying? To come.
Mhm. I was reading online just earlier about your history, and we went in. I don't think we went this far in depth about it before, but I read online that your father was in the Air Force. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? My pops was in the military, man, and it kind of, I had the opportunity to move around a little bit.
I
You
saw
know what I'm saying?
Italy and Germany.
Yeah, Italy, Germany. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Phoenix, New Mexico. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was born in Philly, so like I've had a real uh journey. You know what I'm saying? In time to see a lot and and do a lot in a short moment. You know what I mean?
Mhm. No, you've been around, and I think that's given you the experience to just apply that to your craft and becoming an artist and having experience of traveling, especially when you go on tours. But the hip hop history starts from your uncle because you were stealing his tapes, Ice Cube, NWA, and then
Facts.
you went out to the Coliseum with your uncle to see Ice Cube perform because he couldn't bring his girl out. I heard.
Man, I'm telling you, man, like that right there was probably, it's not even a probably, like, that was probably the most instrumental moment in my life. You know what I mean? Being a young kid and really not having a true understanding of how this hip hop thing went. My uncle used to bang NWA religiously. He used to bang Ice Cube religiously. So, of course, when you have somebody like that in your life, you kind of look up to them, you know what I'm saying, and want to do some of the things that they do. So of course, my first way was to, let me steal some of these tapes and listen to what he's doing and seeing what it was, you know what I mean? And when I eventually got the opportunity to go to that concert, man, it just really did, it did something to me. Ice Cube coming out with a big ass black fur coat on with a hat that said nigga on it, you know what I mean? And he was just killing me, you know what I mean? And ever since then, man, it just was a motivating force for me to just harness and hone in on my craft.
What tour was this for? Which you saw Ice Cube on? Do you remember?
So it was America's Most Wanted tour,
Okay, so it
actually.
was right as soon as he went to the East Coast and took over
Yeah,
his solo career.
yeah. And then, like I said, he came back out west and he did a tour. And like I said, he stopped through Phoenix. And back then, you know what I mean, the arena was called the Coliseum. And like I said, man, I was a little snotty nosed kid, but fuck, it did something to me. Real talk.
Years later, you would go on to just keep rapping in front of barbershops, challenging
Yeah,
the best MCs. Give me the number one up, and you were battling these guys to get your name up there. We know
for
the
sure.
story how you came across Game.
Yeah,
You go to a club and you see that he's in the VIP section, and you had the CD in your back pocket.
yeah,
And you know, at the time, you found out that you were gonna have a kid,
yeah, man.
and you were on your grind for sure. And you went up there to the security. The security wasn't gonna let you through, and
Right.
they were like, "You can give the CD to us or the
Yeah.
management." And we know how that goes. You give it to them, that's probably in the garbage. You know, it's.
Fact. You know what I mean?
But
I mean,
thank
that's
God
like,
that he actually stepped in and you handed him the
yeah,
CD, because like 24 hours later, you
got a
get
plane
that
ticket and a
call.
phone call. Yeah, you know what I mean? And that was a life changer for me. You know what I mean? Like I said early on in, the last interview, I can never say anything ill will about, Game. That's my big brother. You know what I mean? He gave me an opportunity and he gave me a platform to showcase my talent, to get heard, as well as learn a bunch of, small different techniques and craft to kind of hone in on my skill set. Um, but it does come a time, man, where you eventually got to shit or get off the pot. I always say little monkey turn gorilla. You know what I mean? And I had to live and die by that decision to step away, from BWS at the time. And like I said, man, I went on my own journey at that particular point, start working on my own craft and creating my own company, TEA. And like I said, that's where we at today.
I
How does
remember
everything?
you. I remember you telling me just being in the studio with Kanye in the Game last time. But
Yeah,
when you got that call the next day from Game, I did hear you say in a previous interview that you kind of waited a few hours and thought about it on getting on that plane ride.
yeah. I
What
mean,
was it that made you think on it just for a few hours? Because most people would take that opportunity, like I'm getting on the plane now. So what took those few hours? It's just what was it that you had to think on
it,
it?
it was a few things for me. I mean, again, like at first I initially thought that it was bullshit, like somebody was playing. You know what I mean? I know when people say like shit moves fast, but like that was a real fast moment. You know what I mean? And that was the first initial feeling, and then afterwards, man, I kind of was like, well, you never know. You don't know if a motherfucker wants you to go out there just to be on bullshit. If you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? But once I kind of calmed down and really got my mind in order, you know what I mean? I was like, hey, man, look, regardless on how this sway, it's an opportunity. If this is really what it is, you know what I'm saying, this shit can change your life. And I think at that particular time, as any artist, would think, you start thinking like Eminem, like that lose yourself in the moment type shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm just kind of like, hey, when I get out there and he give me an opportunity, man, I just gotta let it all out. You know what I mean? And that's gonna be a make or break decision on if you get offered a record deal or you get shit back on that plane. So it was definitely an important time in my life and in my career, to take that leap of faith.
you watched you were able to learn and apply it to your own career and just how to keep evolving as an artist, but you witnessed his successes and his failures. What would you say were the Game's failures that you witnessed that really just added to your own career and being like how to avoid it, and if those situations come up you can overcome them?
For sure. I always say that, and maybe I shouldn't say failures, but I would just say, Game will go down in history as one of the greats, no matter what anybody says. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he has one of the best albums of all time in the documentary.
Documentary.
You know what I'm saying? So, nobody could ever take that away from bro. Um, but at that particular time, man, like I said, I studied, I soaked everything up. You know what I mean? I listened, I watched how he created. I watched all the work and the hours he put into the studio. You know what I mean? I watched how he interacted and worked with these producers. But even also in that same type of light, you got to understand that he was in a frustrated move too by going through the whole beef and the whole separation between him and G Unit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that you know as much as people don't really talk about it, as much as they should, you know, the business aspect of that was big for me. You know what I mean? It showed me that, you know, to make sure that your business is right. You know what I mean? Like, he was signed, he wasn't signed directly to Interscope or directly to Geffen. He was signed directly to 50 Cent. And when somebody has that type of power, or I ain't gonna say power, but that type of leverage over your career, you know what I mean? You know, they can turn it on and off the faucet whenever they feel fit. You know what I'm saying? And that was something that I really learned from. I was like, man, he's putting in all this work, but I feel like he's arguing with, the staff and these people every day. But that's because a lot of the, personal antics was disrespect and beef. And you know what I'm saying? It really just started overshadowing the business, you know what I'm saying, of it. And I always say, man, maybe at that particular time, you know what I mean, if he would have been just a little bit more, what's the word I want to say? If he was a little bit more, what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? Like diplomatic.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying, and not just instantly gun ho. Fuck it, it's whatever. Maybe I think that the G Unit situation with him in his contract and agreement could have been salvaged, but I think that everything was so high strung, everything was so emotionally drawn that it did a real disconnect to everything that was going on. You know what I mean? Even now, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I watch some interviews and I see that Big Bro get a lot of slack. You know what I mean? Like they press game a lot. And I think that, sometimes his overreaction and just realness, you know what I'm saying, sometimes overshadows a lot of his success. You know what I'm saying? Like people really won't give him the accolades that he fully deserves because he's a little bit more brash and a little bit more vocal than a lot of these other artists. You know what I mean? But like I said, for me, it put me into a fine line to kind of like, okay, I'm just as vocal, so let me maybe try to take a different approach from this so I don't fuck up my money. Now, that's not necessarily saying don't speak your mind or don't speak your truth or don't speak what you believe in. There's just other alternative avenues and ways to go about doing it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you brought up you brought up Eminem before. I'm sure you've been in tune with what's been going on out here, but how did you
Right.
feel about the Black Slim Shady and your friend go at Eminem in that 10-minute long diss?
I, I to get like, I was wondering like what the fuck is going on. First off,
Uh,
you know what I mean? No, and I looked at it as like it wasn't, niggas who know game, like game can go. Like that's his shit.
a
That's
hundred
like,
bars. He could do that.
yeah, yeah, he'll hit you with 300 bars. You
Yeah,
feel
he
me?
will.
Like he'll give it to you. But I feel like maybe, man, there wasn't no real ill will between him and Eminem. I think that, obviously, there's a lot of emotion still drawn because they was all under Aftermath. And let's be clear, Game was signed to Aftermath before Eminem even got there. You know what I mean? So, to have somebody like Eminem come in the Aftermath and, become the poster child, I'm sure that affected him a little bit. Even also, I mean, let's keep in mind the 50 shit. You know what I mean? Eminem signed 50. And of course, through that whole beef and situation, I'm sure M was standing with his protege in 50. You know what I mean? But as far as the music go, man, I just think the Game maybe just kind of did that on some, you know, it was a respect thing, but it also was a little teaser to maybe garner some noise, you know what I mean, for his album. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Dramatic.
yeah, you know what I mean. Now, as far as Dramatic go, I think Dramatic was a good album. You know what I mean? I don't think it was his best. You know what I'm saying? I mean, comparable to me as far as, the documentary and Doctor's Advocate, like, those are my two favorite albums. You
Same,
know,
yeah.
so I always, I hold those two albums to a high level. But like I said, man, Game always does deliver quality music. You know what I'm saying? I really wasn't with the record, for him and Eminem, but as far as the Drillmatic having a good body of work and really having a few joints on there, I thought it was a solid project.
Heart versus Mind. I thought that was a great track. He's got some good ones on there.
Start from Scratch too was dope too. You know
That
what I'm
one
saying?
too. Yeah.
There was a couple joints on there that I kind of was like, I hear, you know what I mean? Like I heard that hunger, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Because if people don't remember, and they should, if they follow the Game, Born to Rap was that was it. But then
Yeah,
all of a sudden he comes out of retirement and drops his
yeah,
album, or he could still be in retirement, and be like Jay-Z and release a 444, and that
yeah.
that this could be his 444 with Drillmatic.
Yeah, no, no, definitely. I mean, like I said, hopefully down the line, you know what I mean. I want him to do one more album, but I'm hoping that he can convince and salvage the relationship with Dr. Dre and really put out one more album that's just classic. You know what I mean? And I think that if he can do that, then he can sell into the sunset after that. You know what I mean?
I
But I
agree.
think we do for one more, but he got to go back home to the doc and figure it out.
That's right. You just tie up the loose ends here, but we got to get into more of these endorsement deals because you got some things with Nike too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I did the Nike Trunner One uh commercial. You know what I mean? I did the music for the shoe. Um, you know what I mean? It was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you take an independent artist and really carving out his own lane at this particular point, and you start getting endorsements and sponsorships from companies like that, man, that's a good a good business circle to be in. You know what I mean? It's crazy because a couple of days ago I just left a meeting in LA and I met Pat Riley and Magic Johnson. You know what I mean? And I had to post it to the gram, but what was even more crazy, man, we had a couple shots and Pat Riley, man, he went to my Apple Music page, man, download all my shit. Real talk, bro. I was like, hey, get this man a shot. You know what I mean? But shit like that, man. Just out here really just trying to carve my way, trying to really spread my music to new markets and really just trying to be a voice of conversation to niggas who don't even know who Richie Evans is. So, I'm really out here still, moving, shaking, and building this shit the way it need to be, top tier.
Something that's interesting, what you mentioned before, you also learned from the game of just about expanding your brand. How did you expand your brand during COVID? And especially if you're an independent artist in this game, how
Right.
can you attract endorsement deals?
So for me at that particular time, man, I didn't really end up getting those endorsement deals till after. But you know
That's
what I
right.
mean? At that particular time though, during COVID is when I was really, you know, uh establishing and figuring out ideas and lanes, you know what I mean, that I can align with these particular companies, man. And another thing with that is, just really trying to keep your brand solid and keep your brand clean and that's comparable to some of the shit that they want going on. You know what I mean? I think one of the cool ways that I even had the opportunity to do the Nike thing was just, the rep and the person who gave me the opportunity, man, he just liked the way that I moved. You know what I'm saying? He liked the For You record. He ended up coming out to Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? We end up just, again, having a great casual conversation over a nice meal, talking some fly shit. I just think that my persona in the music that I represent just matched to who I am as a person. And I think that he really aligned with that. You know what I mean? And I think that it was a moment for him to be like, hey, I could tie the hip hop world, you know what I'm saying, into this, athletic world. Let's try to make it blend. You know what I mean? So I definitely uh, appreciate that particular opportunity, man, and really gonna thrive it to a lot of more bigger shit with them.
With the upcoming project, I was reading that you already have played the project to some people already, and they said
Yeah.
it's official that this is a
It's, oh,
banger. And I'm not,
yeah,
like I said, I'm not surprised. But you got
yeah,
Rick Ross on here. He's someone that's gave you that co-sign already.
yeah,
J Rock, J
yeah,
Rock's also on this as well. And
yeah, yeah.
you've known him for a while, I heard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. J Rock, when I first, like I said, initially started, working with Game, he was one of the few artists out there that, we were similar in age, and you know what I'm saying. We just end up, hanging out. You know what I mean? And him, Kendrick, Nipsey, Ab, like at that, a guy coming from Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? They really kind of opened the doors and embraced me out there a little bit. You know what I mean? So, that was definitely, a great friend, you know what I'm saying, to have on the project. But yeah, man, got Rick Ross on it. I got him on a record called Can't Knock the Hustle. I got a record with my man J Rock, of course. Him and my man Eastside K Boy called Pressure. Of course, Vito, like I said, for all the R&B heads out there, Vito been out here killing shit. Salute
For
to
you.
him. Yeah, the For You record. I know his record just went gold, I think, a couple months back. So, the EP really has some great features on it, you know what I'm saying? And I think that I really put a good little, body of work together that buys me a little bit more time to finish the LP that I can really drop an amazing, album as well.
Mhm. Richie, is there anything else you would love to let the audience know, man? I think we covered everything, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, just like I said, man, I just appreciate the time, Max. You know what I mean? Yo, Super Bowl is in my city this year, so if you end up getting out to Phoenix, make sure you lock in with me. I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah,
make
definitely.
I'm gonna make sure it's a movie. Man, anybody that's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, make sure you follow me at Who Is Richie. Got a record out right now featuring my man Vito called For You. That's on all the major platforms. And stay tuned, man. Like I said, I'm about to drop this new record called Pressure, and the highly favored EP will probably be out within the next month and a half. So let's figure it out.
Can't Knock the Hustle with Rick Ross. Is this a reference to Jay-Z's Can't Knock the Hustle off Reasonable Doubt, or is this completely unrelated, just your own thing?
No, it's my own thing, but you know what I'm saying. That was the vibe and the theme that I was feeling when I created the record. You know what I'm saying. That coming from nothing to something, fly nigga shit. You know what I mean? Whenever you think you can't knock the hustle, you think about that Reasonable Doubt. You know what I mean? So yeah, but my shit is it's not based after his, but it did have some highlights as far as me just feeling it, the feel of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and hopefully the Suns get far this year too.
Yeah,
I
man.
can't have another repeat of the Golden State Warriors. I can't do another repeat of them.
Man, listen, I'm gonna tell you like this: if the fucking Suns don't make it this year, they're breaking up the team. It's over. It's over.
You're probably right.
No, no, it has. I mean, because this is going to be the third year in a row. It's
Hmm.
over at that point. You know what I mean? Like we got to start shipping niggas out and swapping things in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Make it something work.
man, and let's be clear, Max. The West is going to be a problem. They got the boy back from Denver. Is it Jamal Murray?
Yeah.
He's coming back. Denver's always been a problem. Luca became a whole new man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure he gonna fucking figure it out. And so it's gonna be very interesting to see, how our sons do this year. But I'm riding with them. So, we good.
And I'm sure the Lakers are going to be taking a step up this year as well.
I fuck with the Lakers heavy, you know what I'm saying? And I'm waiting to see how this Russ thing is gonna play out. You know what I mean? I know there's been a lot of talk about since Patrick Beverly came and he didn't want to be there no more. But I think Darvin Ham gets a lot of respect from those players. You know what I'm saying? I think that he's a man's man in that locker room. So I think that he'll figure it out and get them on point.
Yeah, he will. No, I like you said, I think this is the last year really here for this trio for the Suns to really push things forward here. If it doesn't work,
Yeah,
it's done, and hopefully they get it pulled together out there. I want to see another winner besides the Warriors. Can't take it anymore.
man, I'm telling you. Wait, I even also think that that's what's going to happen in Brooklyn. Just like you said with KD, man, if they can't figure it out, I think they're gonna let it go.
Yeah, I'm fine with that not working out as a Knicks fan. I'm fine with that. So,
Hey, what's crazy is I keep hearing that the Knicks is gonna get what's your boy?
Donovan Mitchell.
Listen, and he's a problem. If y'all can
He
get
is.
him, if y'all can get him, man, you know what I mean?
It'll turn our franchise around.
But are you willing to give up the young boy?
RJ Barrett, that's the thing. I don't want to part with him because he's still going. I don't know. It's such a difficult decision. You could take all of our
I like
picks.
RJ.
Yeah, RJ Barrett's nice.
Yeah, no, he is very solid. That's why I was wondering. I was like, man, I'll give up a few other people, but keep RJ and Donovan, man, that'd have been a problem. But we'll see though.
That's the plan. I hope that happens. You can take all of our picks because the Knicks don't know how to draft, but
man, I heard you guys got the worst owner in the world, my G.
yeah, Dolan, he's horrible.
I heard he is just a trash can. You feel me?
He really is.
You know what I mean? But hey, we got some shit to look forward this year, Max. So I can definitely tap in with you on that.
Absolutely. And they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter at Who Is Richie. Make sure you tap in.
Yes, sir, man. Make sure you tap in. And like I said, be on the lookout for Highly Favored.
Yep. And shout out to Victor for connecting us as always, setting things up, sending the records through, man. And I know we'll be in touch and get things going here. Once the records start coming out, I'm promoting them for you.
Man, I appreciate you, Max. Like I said, I'll make sure you one of the first ones to get them, brother.
I appreciate that, man. I want you to take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'm looking forward to the new music. Keep going, man.
My guy. Love.
Love. Peace out.